Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to another reaction video where today we are going to be reacting to top 10 scary Disney Plus theories that will terrify you. We've all been there. We've all seen like Disney films, Pixar's, whatever. You name it, we've all been there. If you haven't seen any Disney films, basically you don't own a TV and you're not watching me right now because how basically you've not seen Disney films. Basically, I will say I've not seen all of them. I will say that there are so popular films that I've definitely not seen. Like, I would even admit I've actually never seen The Lion King. I will admit that right now. I've never seen The Lion King. But yes, moving on from that, don't worry about it. Let's take a look at some Disney Plus theories that will apparently terrify us. Yes.
I'm sure most of you have heard of the Pixar theory, which states that all of the Pixar movies exist in the same universe at different times across many centuries. But today, we're going to look at 10 of the most sinister theories fans have come up with. Let me know your favorite dark Pixar theory in the comments below. Number 10, WALL-E destroyed the Earth. Now, while WALL-E is definitely one of the cutest characters Pixar has created, even though he's just a robot, this theory shows that cute doesn't always mean peaceful. The theory goes that WALL-E was just another waste collection robot built to help with the Earth Recovery Act, but he either had some crossed wires or just wasn't very good at his job, and he loved to collect trinkets and little human artifacts, but all the other robots just doing their job were compacting anything and everything they could get their little grippers on, including WALL-E's stuff. This made the little robot snap, and he started destroying the other robots bit by bit and keeping the parts for himself. We see this in the movie when he takes a part off of a downed robot to replace his worn out treads. Over time, WALL-E cannibalized the rest of the robots, allowing him to continue to function for over 700 years, way past his original life cycle. And now he can collect his trinkets while still doing his job in peace. But at what cost? With all of the other collection units broken, the trash problem only gets worse until we see the world as it stands at the beginning of the film.
Right, okay, alright. For a theory, that is full on blown research, you've gone way deep into it for a theory. I don't think that theory is true, definitely not. There was robots in space as well. There was in that generation of the film, there was just basically robots anywhere. There was freaking billboards in space, for God's sake. So yeah, WALL-E with his other power buddies, they all did not have the parts to keep themselves going on, maybe or something like that. Although they are solar flares, so they don't need batteries. But yeah, he was just the last remaining robot. Don't know how the other robots died, but can't say. But I don't think WALL-E would have that capability just to kill all his fellow buddies. You know, I just don't think he would do that. That's a bit too much done for a theory. I don't think that'll be a thing. No, I can't vouch for that. No.
Number 9. Andy's monster. In Monsters, Inc., we learn that all children have a monster that is assigned to scare them so that they can collect the screams for energy.
Right.
But since all the Pixar movies are connected, that means that characters from other movies have monsters too.
In
one of the training montage scenes in Monsters, Inc., we see Randall Boggs practicing his camouflage skills up against many different backgrounds. One of which is the same blue sky with clouds wallpaper we see on Andy from Toy Story's bedroom walls. Since Randall is the only one who can turn invisible like this, it shows that he is preparing up against things he may actually have to blend into. Randall seems to be the reason that Andy needs his toys for protection. Other scenes in the movie show a room that has the same poster Sid does in his room, showing another connection to Toy Story and why Sid may have been so mean.
I didn't see that one. I did not see that one for Sid's. I did not. Okay, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Inside Out. I love...
this is a film I have not seen. I've not seen it Inside Out, so I can't comment on this theory, whatever he says. I can't comment on it.
Inside Out for giving a generation of kids a way to think about their emotions and teach them that finding a balance and talking about your emotions is the real key to happiness.
Right.
But not all the characters in the movie have learned that lesson yet. It seems as though Riley's parents have a lot of work to do on their own, or more likely, together. When we have the brief glimpses inside of her parents' heads, we can see what's really going on. Sometimes her dad just isn't listening and is replaying an old memory, or sometimes they're distracted by their own emotions. While we would all hope that joy is the emotion running all of our controls, it seems that her parents aren't so lucky. Her dad's main emotion seems to be anger, with him running the show, yelling and getting literally hot-headed at the slightest things, while inside her mom's head, sadness takes center stage. this shows that the two may not be in the healthiest of places on their own, let alone as a couple. And I'm sure that this has led to some strife in Riley's life. Personally, I think that everyone needs to see a therapist a few times in their life. It really helps, I promise. And hopefully Riley's parents get some counseling and can learn to put joy back at the center of their controls.
Yeah, that one's just off my head because I've not seen the film, so I can't judge it, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the hell he was talking about at all, so can't say anything.
Number 7. All in the Family. While the story of Ratatouille takes us on a journey of
Ratatouille.
Linguini becoming an amazing chef,
Seen this film?
thanks to his rat friend Remy, for lack of a better term, driving him from under his chef's hat, many believe that this is not the first time that this has happened in the Pixar universe. If you look closely at the cover of the Food and Wine magazine in the opening sequence, you can just make out what appears to be something under Chef Gusteau's hat. Some believe that this is his own little chef, who helped Gusteau become the culinary star he was. But if a quick picture isn't enough to convince you, how about this? When Skinner is trying to figure out if Weenie really is the heir to Gusteau's restaurant, he has a DNA test performed. He uses hair taken from Gusteau's hat and some DNA collected from Linguini. But the first time the lawyer ran the sample, it came back as rodent hair. We're led to believe that this was a hair taken from Linguini and was mixed up with Remy the rat's hair. But we never see a hair sample taken from Linguini. It's actually implied that Skinner used saliva that he got from the wine glass when he and Linguini were drinking wine in the office. So there was actually a rat hair in Gusteau's toque, and some even believe that it was Remy's mom who was under there. And she was likely killed by Skinner just before the review that brought down Gusteau's restaurant.
Okay, that one did take a time for the word. Okay, now Ratatouille has been ruined for me. Jesus Christ. I actually did not notice the little rat picture. I did not actually notice that. So you know what? He can be onto something there. But it's just this makes me think like, well, I don't know how the hell he makes the rat moves. You know what? Disney, it's Disney, right? We know it's not that all this is true anyway. So we know it can't happen in real life. Just let it run, right? Just let it run.
Carpocalypse. This theory is
I love
pretty
cars.
well known, but I still think it's worth talking about here.
Yeah, come on.
There are so many interesting things about the Cars world that just don't make sense. Like, if there are no humans around, why do the cars have handles? Why are there human-sized doors and staircases and rooms that cars couldn't operate? Unless the world was originally built by and for humans. More examples like the London Eye and the Eiffel Tower and the fact that sidewalks exist at all prove this theory further. But how did we get here? Some think that at some point in the not-so-distant future, AI built into cars becomes self-aware, and after implanting itself into all the cars being built, decides that humans were no longer necessary, and disposed of them all. After a few thousand years, with fuel supplies running low, the cars actually began to convert the human remains into fuel, like how we use fossil fuels in our current age.
Right.
Crazy stuff.
Okay, that was a bit of a dark turn, yeah, but also it was a bit like, you know what, I do have a theory about something, not about in cars in general, it's just like, in the films, like, mainly like 2 or something, not only they have like cars, but like, they also have like boats, they have planes, so why is the film called Cars when they have all the other planes and like boats in it, but they also have other films generally called like planes? Like, you have that in the Cars film, it goes under that category. So why did they make a film called Planes if there's like planes in Cars? Because then otherwise, why would you call the film Cars if, you know, if you get what I'm saying, yeah. I just think like, what is the point? Like, you might as well call the film Motorsports. There you go. Problem solved. You just call it Motorsports. There you go. Yes, it doesn't sound as banning as Cars, but still, you know, you get what I mean. It's a bit pointless to make a film about planes when it's already in Cars. You know what I mean?
Crazy coincidence. Sticking in the Cars universe, we
I literally just said
to
that.
include the Planes movies as well. These films are...
I literally just said this as well. Mate, I'm on it. Mate, I'm psychic.
take place in the same world, as planes and cars are seen interacting together all the time. But Planes gave us a very interesting look into the anthropomorphic vehicle's history. We learned from the character Skipper that he fought in what was essentially World War II. But we've established already that there are no humans left on this world. So does that mean that the cars have repeated some of humanity's worst atrocities? Some Reddit theorists believe so, and that opens up the floor for so many more questions, like, was there a car Churchill? Was there an evil mustached Volkswagen? And on another note, if there's a car Pope, does that mean that there was also a car Jesus? So many questions, so little gas mileage.
Yeah, the car universe has literally the most unanswered questions ever. The cars Cars Universe is probably the biggest one out there. Out of all theories, that's the biggest one out there, I believe, yeah.
Incredibles United. There is a steadfast rule in the Incredibles films from superhero costume maker Edna Mode.
No kicks!
The main reason for this seems to be because she designed the costume for a teen hero named Stratogale, who met her untimely demise due to her cape. Stratogale had many powers, including the ability to talk to birds, and unfortunately, like many birds before her, she got caught in an airplane turbine. But since a bird in an engine causes major damage to a plane, surely a whole human would cause way more. In 1989, one of the worst single aircraft disasters happened when United Airlines Flight 232 suffered an engine failure, causing the plane to crash land. And only 184 of the 296 passengers survived. The plane in The Incredibles bears resemblance to one from United Airlines. Heroes have also been in hiding for 15 years until the film's release in 2004. 15 years before that being 1989. Some believe that in the Incredibles universe, the tragedy of Stratogale and the crash of Flight 232 are one and the same. And that is the reason the heroes had to go into hiding.
Oh, damn. Oh. Okay then, fair enough. I'll have to look into that one, but okay. That's a pretty interesting theory. I would say these are the darkest theories so far, but they're I don't know, it's a weird one. Some of them you can, like, argue against, some of them are just a bit pointless and just, like, or just, like, completely just, like, nah, this is not the case.
Number 3. Brave Boo. Boo is by far one of the most adorable characters in the Pixar universe.
Yep.
She's sweet and funny, and she's so very, very sneaky. But some believe that she grows up to be something a bit more sinister. The Witch from Brave. Some theorists think that Monsters, Inc. takes place far into the future, and that the doors they go through don't just lead to different locations, but to different times as well.
Right.
And this is one of the main ways that the joint universe theory is held together. Boo learns and remembers that doors are somehow the key to finding Sully, or Kitty, again, and devotes her whole life to discovering this secret world. She eventually gains access, but goes through a door that sends her back in time, to the Middle Ages. Here she learns all sorts of magic from the Will-o'-the-Wisps, including the spell that turns Merida's mother into a bear. The driving plot of Brave. Far-fetched, I know, but in the witch's hut is a mountain of evidence proving the witch is a time-traveling Boo. One of the wood carvings is of the Pizza Planet truck, and there's a drawing of Sully on the background. And the witch seems to often disappear through doors.
I did not think of that. I've seen Brave only twice, so I did not notice that. Yeah, definitely not. That is actually that's actually a good theory so far. That's actually been the best one. 100%. Like we already know it. Like there's so many multiverses in like the Disney world. Like I feel like one day we should get a film generally with like the whole multiverse of all the like Pixar Disney films. That 100% that's gotta happen one day. Like when you have like Marvel, all the superheroes like all come together. They have their own movies and they all eventually come together, multiverse, whatever. We gotta have a Pixar multiverse film. It's got to happen, yes.
Shopper's Syndrome. This next theory is one that I haven't really heard talked about much. It states that the company By and Large, the same one that seems to own most of the human world in WALL-E, and earlier on as the company that made Buzz's batteries in Toy Story 3, and the company that forced Carl to leave his house in Up, was actually founded by Syndrome, the villain from the first Incredibles movie. As a young inventor, he created all sorts of robotic technologies that would go on to change and conquer the world. Many of the technological gadgets in WALL-E have a direct connection to Syndrome, such as the zero-point energy that restrains Eve, who also uses flight and organic scanners like Syndrome's Omnidroids. After his death, the company moved away from producing killer robots and began making commercial products, and monopolizing every industry that it could, until eventually, they took over the world just like its founder always wanted.
Damn, okay, that one also was good. Okay, we're on the last one now. I'm explaining big stuff from this. That one was quite an interesting one as well, I say, yeah.
This final theory is one that
Up was a banning film, by the way. I love Up. It was so freaking funny. So good.
Be the most plausible and the most heartbreaking. And here's the main thesis. The story of Up is actually Carl Fredricksen's journey to the afterlife, to finally be with his wife Ellie again. Now let's break it down. First of all, the amount of balloons Carl used to lift his house off of the foundations, which Pixar has said is 20,622, is not nearly enough to perform such a feat. So right there, we have a clue that this may not have been real. Many think that Russell is Carl's guardian angel, but he still needs to earn his wings, or, in other words, Once he earns his Assisting the Elderly badge, his training will be complete and he will be a full wilderness explorer, or a guardian angel. So now, we have an old man lifting off the ground into the sky and traveling to Paradise Falls. Sure sounds like the journey to heaven to me. Throw in an evil person masquerading as a childhood hero who has evil dogs doing his bidding, not unlike the Hounds of Hell, and you have a pretty good allegory. In the end, Carl reaches Paradise Falls, and we can only hope he is at peace and with Ellie.
Ah, okay. That's also, yeah, that's like sad, but also quite interesting. I'm sorry, I'm speechless. I don't know what to think or what is right or not. But some of them are very, very possible. But again, I say it. We definitely got to have a multiverse film of the Pixar. It's just got to happen. Half those theories were a bit pointless, but some of them are, they're thinkers, they are plausible. So they are, yeah, definitely like all mixed together. I think the Cars universe is definitely the biggest multiverse we are going to get by far. With all the planes, boats. You wait till one day we're going to get a film called Boats. You wait till that comes out, yeah. But yeah, fair enough theories.